Good, happy Wednesday evening, April 15, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this evening, so let's begin. First up, live at 5:30 p.m. Governor Chris Sununu to answer viewers' questions about COVID-19 in studio, answering questions live on News 9 at 5:30 p.m. on WMUR News 9. Five more deaths linked to COVID-19 confirmed in New Hampshire. 3 deaths in people younger than 60. 5 more deaths related to COVID-19 in New Hampshire have been confirmed, state health officials said Wednesday. 3 of the people who died were under the age of 60, according to the Department of Health and Human Services. 2 of the patients were residents of Hillsborough County. 2 were residents of Rockingham County, and 1 was a resident of Merrimack County. Health officials said 53 new cases of COVID-19 have been confirmed in the state, bringing New Hampshire's total to 1,139. There are 742 cases currently active. 15 new cases have required hospitalizations, health officials said. Overall, there are 70 patients in the state hospitalized with COVID-19. Health officials said 7 of the new cases had no identifiable risk factors, indicating that community-based transmission is continuing to increase in the state and has been identified in all counties. And now let's take a look at your COVID-19 in New Hampshire, what you need to know. Let's take a look. And here is that COVID-19 in New Hampshire, what you need to know. There are 1,139 number of people in New Hampshire who have tested positive. There are 614,484 number of people in the United States who have tested positive. 32 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 178 number of people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. There are 27,885 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. This map of New Hampshire shows where the cases of COVID-19 are in cities and towns of New Hampshire. In Nashua, 100 cases of COVID-19. In this graph, new cases each day in New Hampshire. In the purple are daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange are new hospitalizations, and in the red are the deaths. And your common symptoms: fever, cough, and difficult breathing, how it spreads, and prevention tips. Be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. Hearing over states' spending of federal relief funds scheduled for Friday. State Democrat leaders say fiscal committee must approve spending funds. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
As the governor's advisory panel over federal relief funds meets again today, a hearing date has been set for a lawsuit about who has control over distributing that money. That hearing will be held on Friday. State Democratic leaders say only the Legislative Fiscal Committee can approve spending for those federal monies. The governor says state law over emergency powers gives him the ability to oversee the funds.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Plan would make $1.1 million available for struggling Nashua businesses, nonprofits. Mayor says funds could be used for wages, rents, and lost inventory. Let's take a listen to that video from WR News 9.
A plan is in the works to help Nashua small businesses and nonprofits impacted by COVID-19. A $1.1 million fund to assist them is being proposed by the mayor. It would make available loans and grants, with the average grant anticipated to be about $25,000. There are limitations on what the money can be used for instance, wages, rents, lost inventory, or other fixed costs. The money for the fund would come from community development block grants and a revolving loan fund. The plan was presented to the alderman last night, who referred it to a subcommittee.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Wednesday evening. And here's a look at that U.S. stock market for all of you for this Wednesday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the red and went down. Your Nasdaq closed in the red and went down. S&P 500 closed in the red and went down. Gold closed in the red and went down. Oil closed in the green and went up. U.S. 10-year closed flat. Euro/USD closed in the green and went up. And VX closed in the green and went up. Dow drops more than 400 points as the coronavirus fuels deeper worries over the economy. Stocks fell sharply on Wednesday as dismissal economic data and weak bank earnings fueled coronavirus over the coronavirus impact on the U.S. economy. Unlocking coronavirus, the largest antibody study yet, gets underway. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News' Diane Sawyer.
This is what action looks like, and what can happen when some doctors and scientists decide to go big.
Dr. Sims, you are doing 38,000 tests. It's a pretty staggering number.
I would have never guessed I would do this sort of a study before.
The staff of the Beaumont Health System in Michigan geared up in just 3 weeks, launching a study by the medical experts, getting test kits, reviewing the accuracy, and mobilizing teams. And yesterday, the Beaumont staff started to line up. Each test a vial of blood, which may reveal whether you have the antibodies you produce to fight the coronavirus. One of the first questions to answer, how many of the potentially 38,000 people will have antibodies even if they had no symptoms of the virus?
This is 100% voluntary. But from the reaction I've seen, most people want to do this. Most people want to know. And, one of the most amazing things yesterday, I was by the blood draw station, and one of the people just turned, saw me, and just, he couldn't shake my hand, but he kind of did a little bow and just said, "Thank you for all of this. You're trying to save us." I was just awed by that. The sheer gratitude that I've seen from some people, I mean, it floors me.
One of the first to line up was Beaumont lab manager Tyler, who had a high fever back in February. Now he believes he knows exactly what it was. 2 days ago, he got the message he was positive for COVID antibodies.
What kind of relief did you feel when you heard this?
It's kind of like a little bit of a weight got lifted, just because there are so many people that are getting affected by this that it's just nice to know that I somehow got through it without too much issue.
But Tyler and others, even those who have antibodies, are told not to change their careful and safe behavior until more is learned about when these antibodies appear and whether they actually convey immunity. Proof of immunity will take time.
Are you pretty confident that this is going to show evidence of immunity?
I'm hoping it shows evidence of immunity. Most viruses, when you get antibodies, you get immunity. There's every reason to think they should be protective, but until we prove it, we don't know. This is the study that's going to help prove it.
Are you doing a preview of what it will be like to get a huge population back into their lives, back into the future?
You know, that's what we hope to do with this. You know, part of the goal of this is to figure out how to get people back to work, how to get people back to a relatively normal life.
Just some of the teams on the front lines this morning, taking action, hoping to gain information, hoping no time will be wasted.
So Robin, Michael, George, hello, and I wanted you to know I've been talking to scientists all across this country about how they are taking action and what they're finding, and I can't wait to report back into you. Talk to you soon.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast. Have a great rest of your evening. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and bye, everyone.